guys, it's Rachel here with Senza Tempo Cane Corso. So I'm here with the dogs in my bedroom. And, hey Sugar Bear. Savannah and I have been watching Bleach. She's never watched Bleach before. And,
she watched it when I was too young.
The anime, and, trying to catch her up on it. She seems to be bored by it, but I'm trying to force her, like any good mother would do. But anyway, I wanted to talk about something today that I feel is actually pretty important, and it took me a couple days to really process it. But so I was on Facebook the other day, and I have had a lot of Facebook friends, a lot of foreigners and things like that, and people would share stuff or whatever, and a video got shared that on my feed, in the feed that I saw, and initially I didn't really notice really what it was. It took me a minute to realize it, but it was a dog that was in a wok, like a wok, like a cooking thing. And it was being boiled alive and was clearly in a lot of pain. And like I said, it took me a minute to realize what was actually happening. And as soon as I realized it, it freaked me out. It made me really mad. And I could not get it out of my head. In fact, I private messaged the guy. I went off on him because I was like, why would you share that? You know what I mean? I don't get the point in people sharing that kind of stuff because you're not going to do anything about it. So for me, I'm not, a vegetarian. I'm not vegan. I do eat meat, and I understand that in order to eat meat, an animal has to die. And, but here we humanely euthanize, animals for that. We do not torture them and cook them alive. At least, nothing that I've eaten. I don't even eat my lobster that way. And I get the fact that I think that there's extremists, you know what I mean? Some people that say, don't eat any meat at all. And then others that say, eat it as long as it's humanely disposed of. And I'm more on that realm. And I know, and I'm one of those people that's for example, in India, cows are considered sacred, and yet, they don't come over here and try to kidnap our cows, right? So I don't believe in taking other people's food sources from them. And so I wouldn't advocate how some people do to if all some people have in some countries is dog, which I don't know that to be true, but if that is all they have, I don't have a problem with them eating it so long as they do it humanely, right? And of course, we can't go over there and tell them how to eat their food, right? But because we live in a world where other countries have their own laws and they can operate under their own jurisdiction, I don't see the value in sharing that kind of video because it's traumatizing for those of us that don't live that way. And we don't see that all the time. And I mean literally traumatizing. I can't get it out of my head. Those of you that have been watching a long time, you know that there's a video that I posted about how a dog was shot in front of me, and the animal suffered for a while, for a good, maybe 5 minutes. The dog had been shot repeatedly in front of me, and I had to watch this animal die and suffer in front of me. And so I have a part of me that just can't really handle that very well. And it's very, 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 very hard. And I guess, so I reported that video and Facebook did not remove it. And I was like, that's weird. I got notification from Facebook that they saw it and it did not violate their terms of service. And I was like, okay, how does that work? So I started Googling it, and come to find out that bless you, that Facebook does not delete that kind of stuff. There's all kinds of really inappropriate stuff that Facebook allows. And I was shocked by that because many breeders that I know, now me, I've kind of, because I have this YouTube platform, I've been able to really kind of not have to participate in that same arena on Facebook of selling dogs. But at one point, my very first litter I did, and I found it to be very useful because it's like when people come and they contact me for a dog, they typically will call me and I have to basically take their word for it. And I can look up their social media and I can look up their address and I can look up their phone number and I could look up as much stuff as I can on that individual, but nothing gives me as much information as Facebook does, where I can look on a person's profile because they contact me from that profile, I can look on it and I can see a lot about them. And it's very useful in being able to determine good homes for dogs. And, many of you may know or you may not know, but Facebook has a policy against selling dogs on their platform. So if you post a dog for sale on there, it's not that you can't advertise your business on there as a dog kennel. You can. You just can't sell an individual dog on there. So, for example, they will let me have my kennel up there. They'll even let me post, that I have like a litter for sale, like, do like a litter announcement. But if I tried to post, say, like let's say that whenever I was rehoming Admiral, if I had put a post about Admiral on there and put his price and all that and to contact me, then that would have gotten deleted, and it very well could have gotten my account deleted, and as well as my personal account, because they have a policy against that. And they've been very strict about it. There have been entire Facebook groups that have been deleted because people have had people posting their dogs for sale on there, and there's been breeders that have had, where they talk about Facebook jail, where they put you in Facebook jail. And they take it very seriously, and yet they will allow people to post video that is completely inappropriate, whether it be animal abuse or adult content. I remember somebody tagged me in a post that was entirely inappropriate. It was basically, mature content, adult content. And I reported it, same thing, they didn't remove it. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? Like, under what sane person is saying that you can post this entirely inappropriate content for a social media site where there's youth on there, but yet you can't sell a puppy on there? I just couldn't believe it. And for me, the last straw was that video I saw, because it literally, I don't know if it brought up memories of that other animal that I saw suffering, because it's like, it's one thing when you see something and you're not there and you don't see it firsthand. It's another thing when you've seen it firsthand and you know what those cries sound like when an animal is suffering. You've seen it first, you've been there, you know what I mean? Like, it's, it makes me want to throw up. That's literally the reaction it has out of me. It makes me literally want to vomit. It just, this, like, that's how stressed out it makes me. And I haven't been able to shake it from my mind. And it's one of those things where you just pray that it dies quickly so that it doesn't have to suffer. And it makes me angry. It makes me very angry. Not just at the person who shared it, but at the people doing it. And it causes all these emotions in me that
nasty dog.
Yeah, Belladonna farted. It causes a lot of emotional turmoil in me, literally to the point of like of a post-traumatic kind of stress thing, where it's like haunting. It keeps kind of popping up in my mind, and it causes this kind of reaction, this visceral reaction. And it makes me even not want to open up Facebook. And I had originally deleted my Facebook because it's just such a toxic place in general. Like, the people on there are really bad. But I had to bring it back because, unfortunately, that's where all the foreign breeders are. If you really want to not get scammed by a foreign breeder, Facebook is a great place to kind of research a person and to stay in contact with them. Like Facebook Messenger is how I stay in contact with Christina with Sangue, and that's how I picked up every import that I've got was on Facebook. And because, like I said, the breeders are still able to be there. If you want to buy a puppy from them, you can message them personally. You just can't, like, they can't post up their puppies. And so there really isn't another universal place for everybody to communicate. All these foreign breeders to be able to communicate. On top of it, even Messenger has its own translator, so people that don't speak English can communicate to one another. And so in that regard, there is a value there. But as far as just using it, I rarely do anymore. Every now and then I'll make a post. And recently I went off when that guy posted that thing. I just got mad because it's not the first time it's happened. Normally it's not video. It's like a picture of like a person with like a machete and a dog and like this horrible, image of what's going on there. And I get it. I know that that's what goes on over there. But it's like, I'm one of those people that's like, why would you bring this traumatic information into your mind if you can't do anything about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the value? There are horrible, horrendous things that happen all over the world. And if you can't change it, I don't see the value in focusing on it. And if you can change it, if you can do something about it, then I understand. But it's a fine line. You know what I mean? It's a very fine line. Even I understand that. Like I said, I really enjoy beef. It's my favorite meat. But like I said, in India, they don't eat it. And I wouldn't be okay with them coming over here and protesting and stealing our cows or petitioning for us to not be able to do that. I have never seen them do that, and I wouldn't think it's right. And so on the flip side, even though it's very traumatic for me to know what goes on over there, and I wish to God that if they were going to eat animals like that they would at least do it humanely. I still, like I said, I don't think that one country has the right to tell another country what they can and cannot do. If it isn't like human tragedy, I just don't. And maybe that's just my opinion, but I think I don't see how you can morally justify one versus the other. You know what I mean? Like what somebody else's food source is their food source, and you don't know what's going on over there or what. But like I said, I do think that there are more humane ways of doing it. And more than that, like I said, I don't understand why Facebook allows it, why they don't do anything about it. And I noticed there's a documentary, I'll include a link at the bottom of this video, by, I think it's The Verge, and it was about Facebook moderators and what they have to go through. And many of them have post-traumatic stress disorder just from having to constantly, because like, for example, whenever I reported that video, well, it went to one of those people. And granted, I didn't know this because, like I said, I only found this out recently whenever I started investigating why Facebook didn't delete it. And so what happens is that a video like that will go viral on Facebook. Everybody's sharing it, right? And then these moderators are constantly getting this video because it's being flagged for removal. And then, of course, it doesn't violate Facebook's policies. So they just have to they have to view it, and then they have to leave it. And they're paid like a barely livable, I wouldn't even call it a livable wage. And many of them are now like traumatized, which I get it. You know what I mean? I saw one video and I am like traumatized. And I don't even think they talked about that in the documentary. They were talking about a cat that was tortured. And I don't even think that it was for food. I think it was just literally an animal abuse video. And for some reason, Facebook allows this kind of stuff. And I don't understand it. I mean, unless they really are as evil as people say they are, or they're still doing testing on people. That's the only thing I can imagine. If they're still doing testing on people, I could understand why they're posting, like allowing these videos to be posted. Because you couldn't even, I don't even think you could get away with that on YouTube. Like literally, I don't think that YouTube would allow that kind of stuff.
There's a little boy that killed his cats on YouTube, and
Yeah, removed it. Yeah, exactly. So I don't get why it is that Facebook allows this stuff. And I even saw somebody made a petition to have Facebook stop doing that. And they still do it. They got close to the amount of signatures they needed, which was like 500. And I think the problem is that if you don't have a lot of people that are in the dog world or animal world on your Facebook, then you probably will never get that shared to you. And you may not even know that it's a thing, but it absolutely is. And I didn't start getting that stuff until I had so many people on my friends list. And so what I did, I got, like I said, it really messed with me that day. I had around 1,500 friends on my Facebook, and I deleted all of them, but like a little over 600. Anybody that I don't talk to on a regular basis got deleted. And I mean, not even necessarily talk to on a regular, like I really need to know you, like know of you, that kind of thing, because I just couldn't take the idea of of seeing something like that again. And so anyway, I just wanted to kind of bring that to everyone's attention and really ask, like, have you seen that kind of stuff? If you have, please, sound off in the comment section. And what do you think about it? Do you think that it's right for Facebook to do this? That it's healthy for them to do this? Do you think that they should be responsible for the mental trauma that puts on people? Because they are unsuspecting. It's not like anybody's looking for that stuff, and yet it just boom pops up in their feed and you can't do anything about it. You know what I mean? Like, do you think that it should be allowed, especially on a site where the age limit, I want to say, is 13? Isn't it 13 for Facebook?
That's a lot of the apps, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that 13-year-olds need to be exposed to this kind of stuff. I mean, what do you guys think? And I mean, what do you think can be done about it? Or do you think anything can be done about it? You know what I mean? Like, like I don't have a large following, but I wonder if maybe if enough of us messaged or did something, maybe made a petition and really called attention to the hypocrisy of them basically allowing that kind of content, but being super strict on anyone that's even trying to buy a puppy. You know what I mean? Like you can torture an animal on Facebook, but Lord forbid you try to find one a good home.
And you can post inappropriate stuff.
Yeah. I mean, just what do you guys think about this? I don't mean to be down or whatever, but I just kind of had to get it off my chest. And you guys have always been, a great place to kind of talk about stuff because there's just so many different experiences. Everybody's had their own experiences. And I really want to know, like, what do you guys think about this? And what do you think that should be done about it? Do you think that anything can be done about it? Do you think they're just testing on us again? I know a lot of people don't have Facebook anymore, and I wish that there was another way that I could talk to the foreign breeders, without it. I really do, but unfortunately that's just what we have right now. And believe me, I tried to leave, and then like I said, I had Christina trying to contact me, just wanting to see what was going on with the dogs, and I wanted her to be able to talk to me. And then I'm also a member of the Cane Corso Association. Recently I joined the board, and that's, where a lot of the information gets shared and stuff like that. So unfortunately it is, an inevitability. But what I have done is I've just removed so many people so that basically, I mean, and I still will probably remove more where literally I probably won't have anything come up in my feed. You know what I mean? Like, that's where it's getting with me, where I don't even want to see anything. I've already removed myself from all the groups because of the toxicity in the groups. And, I think that I'm getting to the point where I'm hardly using the platform. And I wonder, like, what do you guys think about that? Do you think that it is in any way, like, do you think that they're destroying themselves? Like, it just seems so weird for a business to do that. And I've looked at their data. Their user base has declined dramatically. And it does seem like they're suffering. And for whatever reason, they're not doing anything to save themselves. And it just seems so weird to me. And I guess I just wanted y'all's opinions on it and to see, have you had this experience? Have you seen these videos? If so, what effect did it have on you mentally? Did it bother you? Did it traumatize you? do you feel that it had a very negative effect to the point where, you know, that they should be forced to kind of stop that kind of stuff? What do you think about the hypocrisy of them allowing that, yet you can't go on there to find a good breeder? You know what I mean? Because, you know, many of us know, like, anybody can have a great website. You know what I mean? I can't tell you how many people have been duped by bad breeders because they had a nice website.
Or they
But
paid somebody.
yeah, they paid somebody to do the website, and then you find out, you know, on Facebook, you know, you can actually find the reputation of these individuals. You know what I mean? You can see people that have been screwed over, or, you know, like things like that. You know, I mean, what do you guys think? So let me know in the comment section, and hope you guys are having a good night. And I hope if you ever have been exposed to this stuff that you're able to get through it, because I know I'm trying hard to. And I thought maybe it'd make me feel a little bit better if I try to do something about it. You know what I mean? I know that I can't change another country. I know I can't change the way that they do things. I wish to God I could, but I don't see any kind of movement like the Sea Shepherd working, you know, in that kind of situation. You know what I mean? It's totally different when you're talking about whaling versus, you know, what's going on in another country on their streets and whatnot. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Savannah and I are gonna keep watching Bleach and try to get my mind off of it. But I just really kind of wanted to just share this with y'all and really kind of get y'all's opinion on stuff, because it was really messing with me pretty hardcore. And like I said, this happened days ago. If you look on my Facebook, which is open, you can see what day it happened. It was the last post I made, and it's still messing with me pretty hardcore. And it just makes me mad. It makes me really, really, really mad that they do this. It feels deliberate, and I'm angry. I feel like that shouldn't have happened. Like I shouldn't have had to have seen that. I shouldn't have to go through this. I shouldn't have to feel this way because of something as simple as Facebook. You know what I mean? Especially whenever they are going out of their way to block any type of pet sales. And like I said, I don't need Facebook to sell mine. I've got a waiting list anywhere between 6 months to a year for my dogs, and that's just because of people see my dogs on YouTube. So I have no vested interest in it one way or the other. My problem is the hypocrisy of it. So anyway, hope y'all are having a good day, and I'll talk at you later. Bye.